He's a first-generation college student. He can write 2 types of calligraphy, and his favorite jokes are dad jokes. Welcome to the Dean's Corner again with Dean David Cartwright of our College of Professional Studies. David, thank you so much for joining us here on the Dean's Corner.
Thanks, Lindsay. I appreciate it. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, absolutely it is. So I want to get right into learning a little bit about you because that's what these are all about. So we've worked together a bit, but what can you tell us about who you are, where you're from? Let's dive right in.
So I was born and raised in Rhode Island. My kids are now in Rhode Islanders, and they're in Rhode Island schools, and hopefully they'll be set up to be a second-generation college student someday.
How old are your kids?
I have a teenage daughter, so she's 15 going on 30, and my son is 12. They're actually both great kids.
Nice. And you do not only have, your human kids, but your fur children as well. And I hear that they have some fun names.
So we have 3 dogs and 3 cats. Their names are not all food themed, but a couple of them are food themed. So we have our dog, he's a black lab. He's 13 years old, he's a good boy. His name's Meatball.
Meatball.
And we have a cat, and she's about 5 or 6 years old. She's a tiger kitten, and her name is Coconut. Very full house. It's me and my husband, my 2 kids, 3 dogs, 3 cats, and mother-in-law lives next door.
That's great. We're coming off of the recognition nationally of first-generation college students. So what does that mean to you to be a first-gen student, and where'd you go? Tell us about your college experience.
Sure, I'll start off with the second part of the question.
Yeah.
I went to the University of Rhode Island. I actually started off as a pre-med student, and I was a pre-med student for 3 years before realizing in the cat cadaver lab that was not going to be for me, and I needed to make a switch. I switched over to the business program there. I actually graduated with an accounting degree. I stayed an extra year and got my master's degree from the same school. What I've found is that if you have the right support system, you can pretty much make it through anything in your life. However, being a first-generation student, you don't know what you don't know, and so my parents didn't really know how to support me. They supported me in every way that they could, but I didn't know even how to ask for help when I was struggling. I was a full-time employee while going to school full-time. I usually worked nights and weekends and then went to classes during the day.
Wow.
So I have an older brother and a close friend. We all went to college together. We were all first generation. And so we kind of supported each other like a tripod.
How do you feel that we support our first-generation college students here at Johnson & Wales?
There's a lot of great supports in place here, and more focus on mental health awareness. So that, in addition to the dedicated student advisors that we have, the online students also have financial planners that work with them directly if they're struggling with paying for their tuition.
And you did mention that you got your CPA. What was that process like?
Oh, the CPA. So when I switched out of my pre-med program, I had to switch into something. And the only thing I wanted to switch into was something that I'd be able to get a job in once I get out of school. Didn't know what CPA stood for. And when I switched into my business program, the first class that I was enrolled in was an accounting class. And actually, this is the pivot point of my career when I knew that I wanted to be in higher ed, because the faculty member that I have, she was working in industry. She was working as an adjunct faculty member. She described what a CPA was, what the misconceptions were, and I was hooked right from the first day. I'm still technically working in accounting. I work on the university's financial projections for the College of Professional Studies, but prior to that, I actually got my start at Ernst & Young. And there, you have to earn your CPA license before you can advance past the senior level, so to become a manager or above. And that CPA, the 3 letters after your name, that opened up almost all the doors that I've had since leaving Ernst & Young. But when you're there, they put you through the grinder, right? You're going to work a lot. You're going to work weekends. You're traveling, and it all sounds really cool, and it is, until you have a family, right?
Yeah.
And then when my daughter was born, it was a decision to say, let's move into a private industry to make this pivot to have more of a work-life balance. And in 2011, my son was born, and I also got an opportunity to be an adjunct faculty member here at Johnson & Wales.
Got it.
They were looking for me to teach undergraduate accounting, which totally makes sense. I was working in the industry. Johnson & Wales prides themselves on having faculty members that are industry relevant. And Johnson & Wales actually just formed their formal School of Online and Continuing Education. This is back in 2013, I believe, is when they formed it. A couple months before, I just finished wrapping up my first online class. Had some hesitations about that, but I actually ended up really loving it. And now, School of Online and Continuing Education became the College of Online Education, and we recently transitioned to become the College of Professional Studies. And we've grown to a team of about 75 right now.
That's incredible.
Really exciting.
What do you enjoy most about the modality of online education?
I'm really glad you asked that. You get to provide an exceptional education to an audience that otherwise might not have access to that education. It really makes me feel good about what I do, and we hold synchronous Zoom sessions in most of our classes, And we record those sessions so that the students who didn't have the ability to attend in real time, they can watch them. Post-pandemic, it's really interesting because more people are interested in understanding of online learning. There's a greater expectation as to what that experience will be like. The continuity that we were able to provide to an even larger population because we had the infrastructure set up in the College of Professional Studies was really beneficial to the overall university.
What does excite you most about Johnson & Wales' future?
We actually have a formal group working within CPS. They're actually working on corporate partnerships. And we think that's really important because people still have struggles financially to pay for their education. And moving in the direction of working with corporate partners really means a lot to us because many of these partners are providing a debt-free education to their employees.
Let's play a quick lightning round. Are you cool with that?
Okay, let's do it.
All right. Tell me your favorite book or movie.
My preferred genre of book is fantasy and sci-fi fiction.
Nice.
Currently reading a book called The Blade Itself, and it's by an author named Joe Abercrombie. I actually like to cut the grass and listen to the audiobook.
I love a good audiobook.
I love audiobooks.
That leads into my next quick question. Your favorite modality of entertainment? We talked about online learning, but do you like podcasts, audiobooks, TV, movies? I guess, what's your go-to?
It's typically the audiobook when I
Nice.
have the free time. My husband and I do love to watch a show together, love to go to the movies, but we really actually like live music the most. We've been to a dozen or so concerts
Cool.
in the past 12 months.
What was the best concert you've been to recently?
So the best concert that I ever went to is by my favorite band, and that is Kings of Leon. However, I'm not going to lie, we're also both total Swifties, and we went to go see the Reputation tour with our daughter. Failed to get tickets to the Eras tour that just went by.
Tell me your favorite food.
I think it's kind of basic, but my go-to is pizza. Like wherever we go, I gotta try, and they got all this great stuff on the menu, but I always fall back on my pizza.
We said you like dad jokes. Tell me your favorite dad joke.
Oh, okay. I have a daily dad joke that I
Okay.
usually put on my social media feed, and/or in my kids' lunch, they get a little note every day with a dad joke.
That's so great.
They typically think that they're really cringy. I get an eye roll, or sometimes, most of the time, not a response at all. I just started a new tribute band, and the name of it is Paper, and we cover rock.
That's great. I love it. What do you like to do in your free time?
We love outdoor activities, so kayaking. We actually have this bracelet on right here. It's called Rail Explorers. It's either doubles or quads.
Are those the bike
On
things?
the rail, on
So cool.
abandoned railroads. That was really cool. We like
Yep.
doing that. Rafting is a lot of fun.
Nice.
And I try to get a run in almost every day.
Calligraphy?
That's right. We talked about the calligraphy. So in Shea High School, I had an art class as an elective, and the art class specifically was calligraphy. So I had a really great teacher, and she encouraged me to just keep trying and trying. And with the calligraphy that I did, I actually was asked to write the place cards for the then mayor of Pawtucket's inauguration.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And then finally, what powers you here in your role at JBU?
It's definitely the students. And when you hear the success stories about, I passed it, they're just happy about passing a class, or I'm in my last class and I graduate and I already have 2 job offers. You know, those success stories, we hear them all the time and they always make you feel really good. But in online education, there's a lot of students that come here because they have to come here. They're balancing their full-time job, their moms or dads, and they have kids at the same time. They're working overtime and the kid's sick and they have to somehow find the time to get their classwork. So those stories, when those individuals succeed in those really struggling times, that really makes me feel great about myself and my job here.